How's it going? We got a good fight night coming up this weekend. Main event, at least. The main event, at least. The actual card, not particularly great. Not particularly great. So, fun fights on the main card, though. The opener of the prelims is pretty cool. Rebellis to Spain making a return. We'll see if he can win against Austin Lane. It's a layup. So if he can't beat Austin Lane, just cut him, to be honest. What's up, Teron? How you doing, man? But what do you guys think of the fight night this weekend? I don't know. I like the main event. I don't know what to think for the main event, or I don't know who I'm picking yet for the main event. That's the issue. So I like Michel Pereira. I think he's really good. I think he's really talented. I think Fluffy's only route to victory is to come in with a grappling heavy approach, but I don't know if he's going to be able to take Michel down. And Michel's so explosive and awkward and wild, to be honest. So I don't know. You see Ian Gary and Sean Brady are in the works to headline UFC Fight Night Tampa in December. Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw Colby Covington versus Ian Gary, but I don't think Ian Gary is going to be fighting Colby Covington. I don't think Covington's going to take that fight. What's up, Colstrom? John Matsumoto about to throw some mean leg kicks. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like watching him fight. What's up, Craze? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the card this weekend. And a lot of that is I don't understand why they made Pereira versus Hernandez in the Apex. Like I was supposed to be at, I think, the Sphere, right? It's supposed to be UFC 306, and then they moved it back. I was like, why would you move that out of the that fight deserves a crowd. Like I think we see a finish of some kind, right? I don't think that goes the distance. So I don't know. You feel like 309 has a weaker undercard than 295? Well, it's kind of like the Conor McGregor thing when John Jones fights. It's like they feel like they don't have to deck out the card. You know, they feel like they can get away with kind of cutting corners a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. UFC 308 is going to be the next week after. Yeah, next weekend, man. I can't wait for 308. That's like the second coming of UFC 300. I think the card is crazy good. Crazy good. The whole card, the prelims, everything about it is good. Just hopefully, fingers crossed, all the fights stay in place. If Michel doesn't finish Fluffy in round one, then Fluffy's going to drown him with cardio and pace. I can see it. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it a little bit too. I would have loved to have seen Michel and Stephen Thompson. I remember that fight was on the books, but yeah. What's up, Couch Warrior? A new pad? What do you mean? Been good, man. Been pumping out some content here and there, but I'm trying to get back on track a little bit. I've had some things going on, so. Who wins, me or Hamza? Not me. Cerrone saying he wants to come back for 2 more fights. I saw that, man, and I'm just like, why? Why? I don't like when these guys do that. They retire, they're old, they kind of go out as a shell of himself, and then they come back and just make it work. Let me ask you this. A fighter that's older, late in their career, when do they ever come back, decide to unretire, come back, and has it ever went well? It usually never does. We've seen a few people come out of retirement and it goes well, but overall, I don't like when people do that. Hey, Aaron, thanks for the $20, man. I appreciate that for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Give it up to Jake for his absolute masterclass of fight breakdowns. God bless you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm on the edge of doing I've been doing like a full card breakdown and picks for every fight or for every card so far, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. This card this week is just, it irritates me. But I don't want to be a casual, so I'll put one out probably tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out my main event pick. That's why I've been waiting. So let's see. Let's see. You swear if Cerrone fights Tony Ferguson, they might make it. They might make that fight, to be honest. Am I ready for Bilal to beat to beat Shavkat Exposo? I don't think Shavkat's a fraud. I think he's a really good fighter. I just think that Bilal style is a problem, you know. So that's what I think. But Aaron, I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you. You think they come back because of boredom? Yeah, I feel like they retire and then they're like, ah, man, I don't know, and I feel like they have the idea of I just want to I want to ride off into the sunset. I want to go do some fun things, and then they're like, man, I want to get back in there. They sit down, they watch some fights with their friends, and then they're like, I want to get back in there, man. I still got it, and then they get back in there, and then it usually never goes well. What's up, Sam? What did I think of Pereira's recent performance against Roundtree? Roundtree did well, but just slowed down. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we figured, man. Is that I think Khalil did a lot, but he did a lot better than I expected. He's a good fighter. I just thought that Pereira would maybe be able to catch him a little early on, but yeah, Roundtree, he starts fast. He's very very good. He gets lethargic as the fight plays out. So That's kind of how I saw that going. Um, You're confident that Whitaker will beat Chimaev? I don't think so. I don't think so. I got Chimaev in that one. We're thinking of picking Pereira, but I have a feeling he might gas out when Hernandez starts to Cain Velasquez him. Yeah, I can see Pereira hurting him early, but as long as Fluffy can kind of weather the storm and implement his game plan, which he's probably just going to stand and strike a little bit, but then level change, uses pressure and cardio. I think Fluffy can probably win it. To be honest. Taliesin Teixeira fighting at 310. I haven't seen all the fights for that card yet. I haven't looked through the whole card yet. 295 at Pereira, Andrade, BSD, and Diego Lopez. Outside of Charles and Chandler, the UFC 309 feels a little lacking in comparison. Yeah, I would agree. But again, it feels like it's the retirement night for Stipe and John Jones. So that's what it feels like. You're more excited for the fight night this week than last week. I mean, I really like the main event this week. You're heading off to Abu Dhabi on the 21st. You're actually really excited. That's awesome, man. What country are you in? That's cool, though. That's really cool. That's a bucket list thing for me to do at some point, for sure. You wouldn't mind Cerrone versus Wonder Boy? I would. I actually like that. That's a good thought. I like that. Khalil on sea level beats Poatan? I don't think so. Mark your words. Shavkat is going to wear Bilal down with knees in the clinch and elbows, and eventually he will finish him. He's just a different animal. I mean, I don't think he's a different. I mean, he finishes people, which Bilal doesn't finish people. But I think Bilal stylistically, I don't know. How Shavkat beat him? What do you think? He's subs him. Is that how you see it playing out? What do I think of Tatsuro Taira? I don't know, man. Like I think he's a good fighter. I think he's very good, and that's just what we see. And that's what I was saying in my breakdown. I picked Tyra to win, but this is what happens. They feed, one of these prospects. They give him a top 5 dude, and they get in there, and sometimes, they get outworked. They get picked apart, or whatever happens, and we've seen that. Or they go to a really close decision, or they end up getting a finish. But this one, I think Royval is a good fighter, man. Like that's we all know that. We all know Brandon Royval is good. I thought Tyra was going to beat him, but he's shown moments. I think that he's he's still young, so he's got plenty of time. So, and again, if Kaya Sakura beats Pantoja, I think the UFC was really trying to do Tyra versus Asakura in Japan to headline a card. I really think that was what they were kind of looking for there. So. But yeah, he'll be back, man. He's a good fighter. Tatsuro Taira, still young in the game. Yeah, no, there's no question. Fluffy's definitely. I agree, Crazy. Yeah. Fluffy's definitely he's gonna be grapple heavy for sure. Because if he just stands in front of Pereira, I think he would get knocked out. To be honest. Imagine Chimaev dropped back down to welterweight and fought Shavkat. That would be an amazing fight in a clash of 2 undefeated. I love that fight. I wanted to see that a while ago, and they were both on the rise, but I don't think Chimaev's ever making 170 again. He looks quite a bit more filled out. I don't think he ever makes 70 again. Hamzat has a lot of hype. His delusional fans will get mad when Bobby Knuckles puts him out. Nah, he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. I don't know. It's a lot of people hate on Hamzat. I like Hamzat. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a very good fighter. Your heart says Shavkat, but your mind says Bilal. Yeah, look, like Bilal's style is a problem, man. Bilal's style is a problem. He's relentless. He's getting better with the striking too. He used to be just all wrestling, and then now with now that he's like his hands are a little quicker, and he's got some body kicks, and the only thing is, I see what whoever was saying that up above. I got to be honest, man. Like that does concern me, the clinch, because we saw Leon Edwards. He was slicing Bilal up with some elbows and stuff like that. So we'll see, man. And Shavkat's got good takedown defense. What's up, Classy Fist? Yeah, it would be great if John and Stipe both retire. I think they will. I think it's a retirement fight for both, no question, in my opinion. They could book Cerrone versus Wonderboy for 311 in January. He wants to come back. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. You're seeing a lot of body kicks coming from Bilal. Shavkat can probably muscle through it if the fight goes on. Probably. We haven't seen Shavkat really tested, though, right? Because we haven't seen him really tested, in my opinion, yet against the top of the heap in the division right now. Be honest, how far do I think Ramazan Tamirov will go? I think he's got all the potential in the world. I picked him to win the fight. I was like, this guy's got knockout power. He's dangerous. He was over in Ryzen. Doors wide open. I think I could see him being a contender for sure. You could see Shavkat stinking it up with the clinch against the cage. I don't think he's going to be able to control Bilal, though, for long periods of time. That's the thing. Why do I think Bilal barely finishes? I think it's the fact that he doesn't hit hard and doesn't have amazing submission skills. So he has a grapple heavy style, but doesn't have dominant ground and pound. So that eliminates getting a finish on the ground. And then he doesn't have good submission. So that eliminates getting a finish on the ground. So then it would come down to him hurting somebody on the feet. And he's got like decent hands, but he doesn't have like knockout power. You know what I mean? I mean, he could hurt somebody by like clipping him with a shot, kind of buzzes them, and then they're up against the fence and he kind of tees off just like he did on Sean Brady. That's like what we've seen from Bilal. But yet we say that, and then a one-shot KO somebody at some point, maybe. I don't know. But he's got like just an overwhelming style. That's just his style, man. I don't know. You think it's best if John Jones retires? Just feels unfair for Aspinall as he deserves that. 100%. Tom Aspinall has more heavyweight title defenses than John Jones. And Aspinall's the interim heavyweight champion. It's the dumbest. The UFC's mismanagement of the heavyweight division is one of the worst things that they have done in quite some time, in my opinion. The UFC is injecting Rakic with juice to better his chances against Magomed. Dude, so you saw what I said on X, man. That's what I was like, dude. Did you guys see Rakic recently? And granted, that's like right after training and wrestling. And if you've ever like wrestled or whatever, like you're gonna get an insane pump, like when you're lifting or whatever, because you're, you fill your muscles with all kinds of blood and everything. But yeah, he looks juiced to the gills, man. Rakic. So. But yeah, the UFC is absolutely trying to screw over Ankalaev. Like, you don't have to be an Ankalaev fan, or you can be, you cannot, I just sit back and look at the facts, man. Like, they literally gave, so Ankalaev is the guy who we're all like, okay, he was probably next in line for a title shot. They didn't give it to him, or they were, whatever went on there. So they're like, let's give you Rakic, who just lost to Yuri. So the number one contender, you're giving him a guy who's coming off an L. Why wouldn't you give him a guy coming off of a win? I was like, give him Volkan Oezdemir. Volkan Oezdemir should have had the opportunity, because now if Rakic beats Ankalaev, what are they going to say? Rakic next for the title, So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Magomed Ankalaev beats him anyway, though. I think Ankalaev is the better fighter, in my opinion. Yeah, Bivol got robbed. I thought Bivol won the fight. I thought he did. I thought he won the fight. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, if he can't resort to the wrestling and to the grappling, and they're standing on the feet, like Shavkat's very hittable. I mean, maybe Shavkat's got more power, but I think Bilal can outstrike him, honestly. Bilal got hands like Canelo. Yes, Couch Warrior, I did. Bilal 50-45 Shavkat. So I didn't say 50-45. I gave him I'm giving Shavkat a round in there. I think Shavkat maybe takes a round at some point. I don't know. I said early rounds, but I don't know. Maybe he takes one in the later rounds because we saw Leon do well against Bilal. I think what wasn't it like the 5th round or something. So, am I leaning towards Moreno or Albazi? I'm leaning towards Albazi right now. I do not like what I saw from Brandon Moreno in that last fight at all. I just, and the thing is people are gonna say, maybe they're gonna say, I don't know. I'm just guessing and assuming here because we still got a little time before that fight. People are gonna say, well, Brandon Moreno just had an off night. Brandon Moreno just wasn't himself that night, and that could be. Or could it be he's been on top for so long, he's been in all these battles that now he's just kind of like Apollo Costa, where I'm not saying like Costa hasn't been a champ. What I'm saying is he changes his style. He used to be a guy that stands in the pocket. He's, kind of bobbing and weaving, relying on the boxing. And now we see a guy that's like skirting around on the outside, afraid to engage. Like, Costa used to be really aggressive, pressure forward, and just kind of throw caution to the wind. And now he's like this dude that tries to point fight and he's losing fights. Like that's what I'm worried about with Brandon Moreno. So I think Amir Albazi has the ability to beat him. I think that he's a physical guy for the weight class. He's got good grappling. The only thing that scares me is I think the boxing of Brandon Moreno might be an issue for Albazi, but I don't know. I think Amir can win though. That's who I'm leaning towards right now. You think Bilal will win? Shavkat does stand tall, so maybe he'll extend Bilal in the clinch and land body knees and scrapple into the clinch. Yeah, I think that Shavkat, his best opportunity is to land some shots in the clinch, but I don't know that he's just going to be able to control Bilal like that, though. Rakic has great wrestling, leg kicks, and has some great boxing. This is a nightmare matchup for Magomed. So you think that Rakic will out grapple Magomed? I don't think so. He doesn't have good boxing. I disagree. I don't think Rakic has good boxing at all. I think that he has a decent jab and a decent 1-2. He doesn't have anything other than that with his hands. He doesn't hit hard with his hands. He doesn't hit hard. He's got good leg kicks for sure. He loads up on them though. So we'll see. And we've seen Ankalaev have some problems there, but Ankalaev has way better boxing than him, way more power in his hands than him. He seemed to have an answer for the leg kicks against Johnny Walker, right? And I know Johnny Walker's Johnny Walker. That's not Rakic is definitely better than Walker. But I think Ankalaev I think he's better, man. I really do. I think Ankalaev is the next best light heavyweight behind Poatan. And a matchup between them, man, I want to see that fight. People are like, it's so boring. Well, how's it boring? I think Poatan's takedown defense is improved. I don't think that Ankalaev is just going to go in there and lay on him. Like Ankalaev's a striker. Like who is Ankalaev finishing with the grappling? Nobody. He's a striker. He just utilizes the grappling if he's having some issues on the feet. So I don't know. Ankalaev's I don't know. I just feel like there's some bad narratives surrounding him, in my opinion. I think he's a good fighter. What if Shavkat KOs Bilal? That'd be crazy, man. Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill is the next fight for the. Yeah, I think that's a great fight. I think that's a great fight. Maybe they do Yuri versus Hill. Maybe they do Yuri versus Hill. It sounds weird when I say you're going to win a fight and you say you are going to win 50-45. It sounds pansy and awkward. Yeah, it's just, a dominant decision win, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. Will Shavkat be an active champ if he wins? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's what I'm worried about. Crazy, you think Moreno might be washed? That's what I'm worried about, man. That's what I'm worried about. Hear me out. Remember that round when Leon had Bilal's back? Now imagine if Shavkat gets his back, I think he can find a choke. I agree with you there. I agree with you. I agree. If Shavkat's going to win, it's by sub. But I still think that Bilal, I'm going to stand by that. I think Bilal is a problem for just about everybody in the division right now. The guy that showed up against Leon. When Bilal beats Shavkat, they won't have any other choice but to respect him. But yeah, look, what he did against Sean Brady, too, look how impressive that was, because you saw Gilbert Burns, what happened against Sean Brady, and then you saw what Bilal did to Brady. So it's like, you pick Colby and Bilal against Leon. Jamal Hill Says he has his next fight booked. He said it on YouTube. I saw someone, probably fake news, but someone say that they're thinking it's Yuri. Shavkat versus Islam in 2025. What do I say? Um, yeah, I could see it. I could see it because Islam, if he, I think he's going to probably fight Arman next. If he defends his title, he deserves to have a chance at double champ for sure. Couch Warrior, yes, yeah, I am. Most people are wanting him to win, and for what Habib 2.0 with fighting once a year, or it's just fun to pick on Bilal. What? Yeah, I mean, look, Bilal's been active. He said that he was going to be active, and he's active. And then I just don't. Shavkat hasn't been active really since he's been in the UFC, and that concerns me. I like when we have an active champ. Shavkat's takedown defense never been tested outside of Carlston Harris. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tested because Bilal's going to be mixing it up, man. And I'm worried about the gas tank of Shavkat too. He hasn't even been in a 5-rounder, has he? Inside the UFC, he hasn't been in a 5-rounder. Frederick, you think that Bilal will bully him? I mean, stylistically, I think Bilal's a hard fight for everyone. It's not to say he can't be beat. I just think he's a hard fight. Is Merab versus Umar main or co-main event on pay-per-view? I could honestly see it being a main event if they go back to I don't know. They would probably have to really deck it out underneath, but I could see it being a main event because Umar he's a big name and Merab has kind of came around as a big name now. People like Merab, I guess, because he's funny on social media or something. I don't think he's that funny, to be honest. I don't think Merab's that funny. What do I think of Ilya selling the fight to face was kind of funny. Yeah, Ilya gets the game, man. Like he gets it. Like he has Spain behind him. Like he's got a huge fan base. He's a fun fighter. And he's checking all the boxes. He's good on the mic. He's got haters. He's got people that support him, and he's got a fun style. So I think Ilya is if he could KO Holloway, I think he'll be one of the biggest names in the sport for sure. Is Battle versus Brown 50-50? I kind of feel that way. I think Brian Battle is better, but Randy Brown he's good. He's got pretty good striking. So, but I still think Brian Battle could beat him. What's up, Mike Jack? How you doing, man? What are my thoughts on a potential Hooker-McGregor matchup? I think it's a banger. I like that fight a lot. I can't even lie, man. I like that fight. Crazy, do I agree with your Ilya Max take on Twitter? Are you talking about the Bivol versus Better Biev matchup, like kind of comparing it? Yeah, I agree with you. His stock will rise exponentially. I love both fighters, but I think Ilya would be good for the sport. 100%, man. 100%. I feel the same way. Like, I like both guys. I think Ilya is a really fun fighter to watch. He's dangerous. I think he's one of the best featherweights we've seen. I really like, period. I mean that. Like, he's got crazy good grappling. We just don't really see it that much. He's got good takedown defense. His boxing is outstanding. He's got crazy power. And people are like, oh, well, look what Max did to Gaethje. I'm like, dude, Ilya's not Gaethje, man. Ilya's way more technical than Gaethje. He's at least way more defensively responsible than Gaethje, and that's a big difference. Ilya doesn't give you a lot to aim at, He's got that, like, he's a very clinched in, tight, very much like a boxer, like Canelo kind of. That high guard, keeps his hands very, like, glued. He's kind of got the swing side to side motion. So he's already halfway through a slip. That's how he's able to counter so fast. And when he counters, man, there's no, like, with Max is kind of, and I saw something on X talking about Holloway is 0-6 again. This is an interesting stat. 0-6 against other solid boxers in the UFC. So like what he's fought, Conor, Poirier, who are the other guys? Whoever they had. He's Volkanovski. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's kind of a good point. You know what I mean? It's kind of a valid point. So, and I like Holloway. I'm a big Holloway fan. So, I don't know. You think Holloway is going to prove people wrong again, just like he did in the Gaethje fight? I picked him to beat Gaethje. I picked him to finish Gaethje, and people were telling me I was crazy. And I'm here telling you guys, I think Ilya is that good, man. I think Ilya beats him. Because what Gaethje was doing is he's reckless. He gets wild, and he hasn't fought. Holloway was going to have the speed advantage, where he is going to be a little bit faster than Elia for sure. Because Elia, Elia is a little bit he's a little sluggish to me. It looks like, but I don't know. I still think Elia can win. I think Elia, there's a shot he could beat Islam. I think there's a shot he could beat Islam. It's no disrespect. It's just the fact that Elia is dangerous, man. He's dangerous. Mario Bautista is not my favorite fighter, man. He is not my favorite fighter. Did I see Dana's post about the rankings? Yeah, I put my thoughts out. I was like, it's fucking Dana just wishes that he could control the rankings. I don't get his logic, man. Listen, Khalil Roundtree, he was ranked number 8, right? And everyone's like, oh, well, he's on a 5-fight win streak. Who did he beat? He lost to Dustin Jacoby. He lost that fight. That was a split decision. Dustin Jacoby won that fight, but they gave it to Roundtree. Okay, so he beat Anthony Smith. Okay. That's his best win, was he beat Anthony Smith? He got KO'd by Johnny Walker before. And they're talking about, oh, he should be in the top 5 ahead of Hill and Yuri. Yuri's a former champion, right? Yuri's a former champ. I get that he lost to Poatan, but he beat Rakic at least. He beat a top 5 dude, so I think he's over Roundtree. And then Jamal Hill, he's a former champion, and then he lost to Poatan one time. Who is Roundtree beaten in the top 5? Nobody. So why is he going to be in the top 5? I don't get that logic. I don't get it. Just because you're winning 5 fights in a row, he didn't beat anybody in the top 5. How are you going to say that he's top 5, but he's beaten nobody in the top 5? Because he went to a closer because he was more competitive with Poatan than the other guys. Like that's styles make fights, man. I don't know. I don't agree with that. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion. Yeah, the way Elia made adjustments against Volk was impressive. Max boxing is overrated. Boxers have great defense. Max relies way too much on his iron chin. Yeah, he's like very much like a Muay Thai style guy that just has good quick hands. He has got like Muay Thai style defense. He doesn't move his head a lot. And he over parries at times with that rear hand. And I don't know. I just think it's going to be a problem against Elia. But we'll see though. Yeah, Mario's a good prospect. He is. I think Charlie Campbell could cause some issues for Roofy, but I think Roofy's that good, though. I'm picking Roofy. Well, it's not really a clinch when you're literally holding a guy up against the fence. I don't know. That's kind of the clinch, but I don't know. That's not an active clinch. An active clinch up around the neck, tie clinch, throwing knees, elbows, working something, not literally holding somebody, literally holding to try to not allow them to move or do anything. And then you can't even land any offense. So that's not the clinch. The clinch is supposed to be the clinch is an aspect of martial arts. That's supposed to be an active area where damage can occur. If there's no damage being given or taken, that's not fighting. Like that's not fighting. You're like holding somebody up against the fence. You're stalling, in my opinion. I agree with Dana there. I agree with Dana and Connor on that. I do. If you're going to take somebody down, you should be like doing what Hamzat's doing. Oliveira, Makachev, Habib, be active with the grappling. Make somebody feel helpless. Dominate them. Ground and pound, elbows, punches, advancing positions, looking for submissions. That is fine. But to just literally hold somebody up against the fence, please don't get to space. Don't tee off on me, Aldo. No, I don't know. Max can't sit in the pocket with Elia. He's got to stay at range. That finger pointing isn't going to work. Did you see what Elia said? He said he's going to, in the first 10 seconds, he's going to point at the center, though. That'd be crazy. Max didn't take hits from Dustin. Dustin was knocking Max all over the place. Yeah, dude, I would actually, I mean, you're right. I would love to see the Max that fought Gaethje, that guy fight Poirier. That would be fun. Mike Jack agrees with me. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I'm just saying that's my thought. I don't know how you could say a guy's in the top 5 when, Hill's a former champion. He's got basically one loss recently, which was to the Poetan or to the champ Poetan. Okay, he should still be in the top five. Yuri just beat Rakic before he lost to Poetan again. Okay, so he's lost two fights to Poetan, but the rest he's knocked everybody out. Yuri should be in the top five because Roundtree KO'd Smith, didn't beat Jacoby, and beat some dudes that aren't even in the UFC anymore. He should be in the top five because he went to a close fight with Pereira. No. I would have loved to have seen Roundtree versus Volkan Oezdemir, but Oezdemir is going to be fighting Oberg. Do I think Magny has a chance to vet it out with Protez? Yeah, if he tries to come in grapple heavy, man. If he tries to, basically, it would look like Mike Malott. Protez would beat the shit out of him for probably a round or two or whatever, and then he would fatigue, and then Neil Magny would be able to like sub him or something. I don't know, but I don't see it, man. Carlos Protez is way better than Mike Malott. And Protez is like up there with a guy like Michael Morales. Like I think that he's just like a stud prospect. But if he, you know, uh, tries to get Magny out of there and he burns all of his energy, I could see there being an issue. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but I definitely am picking Protest. I think he's that good, but they keep, man, the UFC must hate Magny or something. I don't know. You're gonna pick Magny? That's crazy. Even Arnold Allen was hitting Holloway clean. I know Holloway wasn't taking shots the same at 45, man. Before the Gaethje fight, people forget Zombie was landing and hurting him. Arnold Allen was landing some good shots. If that's Elia, dude, it's a problem. It just is. Aldo was helpless against the feds. It's Aldo who needs to learn how to get out of that situation, not Mario's problem. I don't know, man. You think Roundtree smokes Vulcan? Maybe. Maybe. I think that's a good fight. Maybe they do Alberg or Vulcan. The winner fights Khalil. I don't know. Because I think that they're probably going to do Hill versus Prohaska, Yuri. Yair Rodriguez was able to land clean on Holloway too. I mean, Yair is able to land on everybody though. Yair is able to land on everybody. He's hard. He's this hard fight. What's up, Klaus? How you doing, man? What's up, Jim? Do you think weapons should be allowed? No, man. No. What's up, Officer Shavkat? Take it easy, Classy. Appreciate it, man. You'd love to see Michael Morales fight Carlos Prates. That's probably in the future, man. Probably in the future for sure. People don't understand how dangerous of a matchup Elia is for Max. People really think Max is about to Gaethje Elia. Yeah, they're different fighters, man. They're different fighters. And I was one of the dudes that sat up here and told you Max Holloway is going to be just fine against Gaethje and he's going to beat him. He's going to work him because he's faster. Gaethje had never fought somebody with a speed advantage like that. And Gaethje's wild. He gives you opportunities. Gaethje, his defense has improved. His head movement's actually pretty good now, but he still takes a lot of damage and he's kind of, he's there to be hit, where Elia, very compact, very defensively responsible. He's hard to hit clean. And even if you do land on him, he's hard to hit clean. The only shot that lands on Elia clean is you can attack his lead leg a little bit, but that left high kick that Jai Herbert was able to hurt him with. And then he got hurt on the local pro scene with that shot too. Outside of that, man, what punches aren't landing on the guy? Or they are, like he's getting hit with a jab, but you're going to get hit with a jab, But again, I don't know. He's a hard fight, man. He's a hard fight. What if Max does beat Elia by a TKO in the fourth? That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Can Charles please beat the shit out of Chandler and send him packing? He may. I don't know, though, because remember the first fight? Was that UFC 262 maybe, when they fought for the vacant lightweight title, and Chandler was beating the hell out of Oliveira. He had some really good moments. He was putting some bad spots, and then Chandler just gets tired, man. He's dangerous in the first round, but then after that, he kind of fizzles off a little bit. Yeah, I want to see Oliveira win also, but I have this weird feeling that Chandler might win that fight, man. I just feel like he might. I don't know. Chandler waiting for McGregor the way he did. I feel like he's bound for some good luck, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd love to see Charles win. I just feel like he's so hittable, and I feel like Charles is. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see Oliveira win. I'd be rooting for him, but I don't know, man. Charles should just be defensively responsible and wait for Michael to gas. Exactly, exactly. Chandler's a bad matchup for Charles. That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. If Chandler can be smart with the energy and come in with like actually like fight IQ and stick to it, which I feel like we say that every time and he never does. But if he did, if we saw a smart tactical Chandler, I think he could beat Charles Oliveira. But um I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think Chandler is he's a hard fight for everybody, man. Um yeah, he's been working with the health guy. What's up, crossover? How you doing, man? When does that change? He never fights smart, man. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we say that we're like, if Chandler could just fight smart, but he never does. He never does. But if he did, I think he could beat Oliveira. Chandler could decide to rematch Hooker, and beating Hooker would get him a title shot. Easiest path to a title shot. Yeah, true, true. But I think he said, didn't he say if he beats Oliveira, he's fighting for the title next? I thought I saw him say that. Yeah, the first round is where Chandler is definitely at his most dangerous, no question. Joe Alvarez, Jalen Turner. I like that matchup. I like that matchup. I like watching Joe Alvarez, man. That dude's dangerous. Chandler did fight smarter in Bellator, which isn't saying a lot, but he did. At times he did, yeah. And then he's like, ever since he came to the UFC, he's like just been focused on solely being entertaining, which has gotten him paid, but it's gotten him to take quite a bit of damage too. BSD versus Patty. I could see it. I could see it. BSD's lost 2 in a row, man. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I figured he was going to lose to Poirier, but to Moicano, I thought he was going to be able to beat him, to be honest. Islam would do bad things to Chandler. I agree. I agree. Am I watching Power Slap? No, man, no. No. Would I rather see Yuri versus Hill or Hill versus Jan or Jan versus Yuri? Um, I like Yuri versus Hill, honestly. It would be awful if BSD lost to Pimblett, though. Yeah, it would. It would be crushing. It'd be crushing to his career. Thoughts on Ludovic Klein's recent performance? Not as dominant as I thought. Roosevelt Roberts really gave him a run for his money, but a learning experience for Klein, I think. He had to use his grappling, he had to dig deep. I was surprised, though. I thought he was going to be able to beat the hell out of Roberts, to be honest. Moicano wants money. When's the prediction dropping? Need your picks to lock in this parlay? Tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. I've been going back and forth on the main event, but what's up, Abdul? How you doing, man? You can see it now. Chandler's going to blow his load looking for the kill shot. He's going to get tired, and Oliveira's going to sub him. Yeah, that's how it went last time, pretty much, man. Yeah, it's crazy, Couch Warrior. It's crazy. I'm just wiped out from it all, man. I'm just ready for I don't know. I don't know, man. Wiped out. I'm tired of it all. It becomes exhausting after a while. Fluffy is very unintimidating body, but he's one of those dudes that could grapple more physically, imposing guys down. Yeah, true. True, man. Yuri versus Hill is the fight indeed announcement suit, I think. Early prediction. I think Yuri can beat him. I think Yuri can beat him. If Moicano fought Pimblett, it would be weird if BSD fought someone like Jalen Turner. That would be. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. Azamat versus Krylov is a good fight as well. I like that fight. Azamat's been on a tear, man. Been on an absolute tear. Got work early tomorrow morning. Just wanted to pop in real quick. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be on here just a little longer, a little longer. Call me crazy, but you think Charles is a better striker than Chandler? He is a better. I think he's a better striker. Yeah, he's a little cleaner, more technically responsible. Chandler could be a great striker, but he throws all his techniques. He just throws his technique out the window all the time. You know. What's next for Jan? I don't know. He's in a weird spot, man. He's in a weird spot because he's been injured. So I don't know. I think Jan, he's always. It seems like the UFC loves Jan Blachowicz, so he's like always one fight away from a title shot. So I don't know. Maybe him versus Khalil. That'd be a fun fight. Him versus Khalil or something. I don't know. Imagine if Fiziev got to fight Poirier. The fight would rock, but it would be insanely favorable for Fiziev. I mean, that'd be a great fight. That'd be a great back and forth. That'd be fun. Azamat versus Krylov. Who am I leaning towards? As of right now, Azamat. Azamat. I think if Krylov comes in and grapples, maybe it goes his way, but I don't know. I think Azamat is a problem right now. You could also see Charles clipping Chandler on the feet in a wild exchange because Charles does actually have power in his hands. Yet Charles is more technical and he throws cleaner shots than Chandler, you know? But Chandler's just like a big, powerful, explosive dude. You think Pereira destroys Jan in the rematch? I think so too, man. I think so too, man. What's up, Rocco? How you doing, man? Thoughts on Magomed's Twitter game? It's funny. It's funny, man. I don't know if it's him or his management or whatever, but yeah, it's fun. It's been fun. Yeah, Coastal's doing all right, man. They're doing decent. They lost to JMU, but JMU's been pretty legit this year. What's up, Joa? Is that me on Twitter? What do you mean? Agreed. Krylov needs to get the fight to the ground, but Azamat is the uncrowned champion. I think Azamat beats him. Honestly, I'm early prediction. I got Azamat. Chandler, yeah, he just relies on his explosiveness for sure. You like Jan Blachowicz versus Pereira too, even though Jan hasn't won a fight since. I would have booked Jan over Khalil for 307. Yeah, and it was the closest fight really that Poetan's had, to be honest. I like that. I think the UFC is going to go that route, man. I really think that they are. I think they're going to go that route. Give Jan Blachowicz a title shot. Yeah, it is. It is. Joao. I like to have fun on there, man. That's a fun app on X or Twitter or whatever. The voodoo stuff, or who do I got for the main event this Saturday? I don't know, man. I'm gonna put it out my video tomorrow. I'm gonna put it out my video. I've been going back and forth, dude. Because I've been torn. Honestly, I've been really torn because it's a great matchup. It's a great matchup. Is that how you found me though? Was on Twitter. Is that how you found me? Cannot wait for Vulcan versus Carlos. That's going to be a great fight. I think Carlos Ulberg is going to be a little too speedy for him, though, to be honest with you. I didn't see that Brooks is coming back to MMA. I didn't see it. Or coming to MMA. I didn't see that. Are you crazy for thinking the UFC will want to make Jones versus Poatan? I mean, no, I think that they will. The problem is I think John and Stipe both retire that at the end of after their fight. I think they both retire. You agree on the main event, man? That is 50-50. I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. You found what's up, Alden? You found me on a random stream. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Poetan versus Aspinall. I could see it for sure. At some point, I could see it for sure. One of my thoughts of Bivol versus Beterbiev. I thought that Bivol won. I thought he landed good, clean counters. I thought that he was moving really well. Um, I think that they just valued Beterbiev moving forward. I don't know. I thought that Bivol won. He landed more significant strikes. His accuracy, I think he landed more significant strikes. His accuracy was a lot higher. I don't know, man. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought Bivol won. What's a winnable match for Izzy that I would give him? Maybe Roman. Um, yeah, maybe they give him Delize. Maybe they give him Baralo, maybe they give him a prospect. I don't know. They got to get Izzy a win though. That'd be good for the sport, for the division too. Gendaroma versus Suarez. Yeah, yeah, no problem, Couch. I appreciate the support, man. Are you crazy for thinking the UFC want to make Jones versus Poatan? No, man. I think that there's a chance that they try to book that unless John retires. Do I think Canelo has a chance against Better Biev? I mean, yeah, because it's Canelo, but I don't know that he would win though. Because Better Biev was right there with Bivol, and Bivol had his way with Canelo. So yeah, that's not a bad take. That Poatan in the next, they got a little bit more time with Poatan, and they're riding that wave while they can for sure. Yeah, Nasruddin's a tough fight for sure. Nasruddin is a tough fight. Yeah, money fight. Yeah, him and Poatan's a huge fight, man. I don't know if they do it though, because they were talking about training together and all this and that. I feel like John told him he's retiring or something. I don't know. 5-4 Ilya beats Charles on a bad day. I mean, Ilya's dangerous, man. I'm a big believer in Ilya Taporia. I think the dude is. I've been a big uh um supporter and like or very high on Ilya for a while now. Like after I saw him KO Jai Herbert, I'm like, this dude's legit, man. To get almost KO'd the way he did, come back and KO somebody like that, he's a stud, man. Bivol's a way better boxer than Better Biev, but Better Biev is such a tank. That's yeah, it feels like Bivol's like very technical and he's got great fight IQ and he got good lateral movement, but where Better Biev, he's big. Yeah, he's a tank, like you said. Alex has at least 3 more years left in his UFC career. I could see him retiring at 40. Yeah, because he's young in the MMA game and he hasn't taken a ton of damage either. So you wish you could go back and watch Zellhuber Ribovic for the first time again. That's a fight I want to play back sometime soon to watch that again. That's a great fight, man. Great. I love watching that fight. Love watching that fight. Or I loved watching it. I got to rewatch it again. That was an amazing fight. I don't think Bivol got bullied. I just think that he didn't stand his ground enough, and then that doesn't look good to the judges, you know. With others, he stands his ground in the center. He respected the power of Better BF. Better that's the only reason I can think of him to not really dig his feet in. If Miocic was a big star, it wouldn't feel as much like Jones as Ducky Aspinall. I hate this pretending like Stipe is a star. I agree, man. I agree. Like Stipe is a cool dude and all, but yeah, he's not really a star. Brian Battle versus Carlos Prates. Who would I pick? Carlos Prates, probably. 2-year layoff, 411 Chandler beats Lanky Charles. I could see a scenario where Chandler beats him, man. I really could. The fight that raised both Ribovic and Zellhuber stocks a lot. Hopefully, we see them again soon. Yeah, both dude won. Even though Zellhuber lost, they both won that fight. Their stocks both rose from that. Yeah, I like Battle and Prates also. They're both very good. Both very, very good. Couple more here before I got to roll, man. But I'll put out my full card for this weekend's fight night video this tomorrow. That'll be out tomorrow. Hernandez versus Rufy. That's a fun fight. At some point, we got to get Rufy active, though. We got to get him active. Yeah, Zhang Wei Li does need to be more active. I agree there. I agree. People said Bivol was running. Shake my head. Bivol showed great footwork. Yeah, he's not. He's not running, man. He's not running. That's like a style, being elusive like that. You know, I don't get it. He's not running. That's just his style. Bahamondes fight again soon. Those pull counters were nasty, dude. Against Torres, they were nasty. Yeah, Brown and Prates would have been fun. Yeah, I think Battle can beat Brown also. Would Manel Cap versus Pantoja headline a pay-per-view? If they're desperate, yeah, but probably not. Probably not. O'Malley versus Corey. Who wins? O'Malley. Unless Corey mixes in the grappling. Actually, I don't know. Corey might make it boring, actually. I don't know. Magomed said Rakic is his toughest fight in the division. Yeah, because he can grapple and has leg kicks, and he's a big dude. Have I watched Kaya Sakura? Yes. I've watched his stuff in Ryzen. He's a good fighter. He's dangerous. Finishes people, which is great for the flyweight division. Alex started his MMA career in 2015 at MMA promotion called Jungle Fight. Yeah, that's a big one in Brazil. Paulo Costa, I think, started there. A lot of the Brazilians come up out of that Jungle Fights. I think Kaya Sakura's striking is pretty good. His grappling decent, striking pretty good. So, but I'm hop off here, fellas. I appreciate everybody hopping on here, man. Like I said, full card for this weekend's fight night will be out tomorrow. But yeah, we got 308 coming up, man. I'm excited. We got some good pay-per-views lined up. The the Stipe versus John Jones one. I don't know how excited we all are about that one, but still some good fights coming up, especially UFC 308 feels like the second coming of 300. So, but I appreciate you all. See you next time.